The movie begins in the middle of wedding ceremony where Catherine and Alexander are getting married. Catherine is significantly younger than Alexander and their marriage was arranged by their parents. Later in the evening, Catherine changes her dress with the help of housemate Anna and waits for Alexander. Soon after, Alexander enters the room and orders Catherine to stay inside the house and to not go outside. While Catherine keeps on insisting she likes fresh air outside. Alexander then orders Catherine to remove her night dress and goes to the bed without even touching her. The next morning, Catherine sits by the window and reminisces about her time outside. The house has become prison for her. One morning, Anna comes to wake Catherine up and get her ready. After that, Anna walks down the stairs to the hall. Later, Alexander and his father Boris and other Englishmen are having talk about going on a trip to London. Boris interrupts Catherine by saying that she has to stay awake and wait for Alexander. He then orders Anna to help her stay awake. After waiting for a while, Alexander shows up and again tells Catherine to take her night dress off and face the wall. Instead of making love to her, he starts pleasuring himself while sitting on a chair. He has no intentions to touch Catherine or bear child from her. The next day, while having breakfast, Boris informs Catherine that he is going to London. When Catherine asks where her husband is, he tells her that there was an explosion and Alexander has gone to it as both her husband and father-in-law are gone. Catherine flees to an open ground area and enjoys the fresh air. She's awakened by the sound of a man rushing through the balcony. She follows the man to the barn to find out that farm workers have stripped Anna and hung her in a sack. Out of rage, she scolds everyone to face the wall and quickly brings Anna down. While Catherine is berating everyone, she becomes attracted to one of the workers, Sebastian, who holds Catherine and lifts her off the ground. Later, Catherine leaves the barn warning the workers about their wrong deeds. Back inside the house while Catherine is heading upstairs, Anna tells her that Sebastian is the new groomsman. At night, Catherine has difficulty sleeping and she has been lonely for a long time. Her husband never cares about her and there is no companion to talk to. The next morning, Anna finds that Catherine is already awake and getting ready to go to the fields. She warns Catherine that Alexander has not allowed her to go outside, but Catherine doesn't obey. Later, Catherine is in her room when she hears knock on the door. She slowly goes to the door and finds Sebastian outside. She pushes the door against him to keep him out. But he manages to get inside. At first, Catherine pushes Sebastian away when he tries to get close to her, but later she gives in and they start making love. The next morning, when Anna comes to wake Catherine, she finds out that Catherine had slept with Sebastian the previous night. To fear Catherine and Sebastian, they spend most of the time in bed making love. Getting concerned, Anna informs a local priest about Catherine's affair and he comes to warn Catherine. However, she sends the priest away, telling him that there is nothing to worry about. In the next scene, Anna is collecting mushrooms when she meets Sebastian. She warns him about his relationship with Catherine in absence of Alexander by giving the example of a dog. The next day, Boris returns home from London. During dinner, he asked Anna for his favorite wine, but she hesitantly replies that the wine is finished. When asked for a reason, Anna is silent, because it is Catherine who drank all the wine. Enraged, Boris humiliates Anna by making her sit like an animal. In the next scene, Boris learns about the affair, so he heads to the place where Sebastian is sleeping and mercilessly beats him. After this, he locks up the injured Sebastian back inside the house. Boris tells Catherine that he has not yet decided what to do with her, and when she asks to take Sebastian out, Boris strikes Catherine. In the morning, while they are having breakfast, Boris schools Catherine again and heads to his room. At that very moment, Catherine locks the door from outside and Boris suddenly starts choking. It is revealed that Catherine poisoned her father-in-law's breakfast. Devastated by the incident, Anna becomes mute. Catherine then orders to Anna to fetch a doctor. When she leaves, Catherine immediately heads to Sebastian. A while later, the doctor arrives and pronounces Boris dead. Later, Catherine receives a letter from Alexander which states that he won't be attending the funeral because he hates his father as well as Catherine. At the funeral, Catherine asks if she is in mourning and takes pictures near her deceased father-in-law. As Anna cannot speak a word, no one suspects Boris's death as a murder. After the incident, Catherine takes back the estate and becomes in charge of the house. One day, while Catherine is with Sebastian, she expresses her deep love for him. However, Sebastian is worried about Anna spilling the beans, but Catherine insists that she won't. That night, as Catherine sleeps, but she is awakened by some noise and quickly hurries to the window to find out that Alexander has returned. She then hides Sebastian in the balcony and sits on the bed as if she is waiting for Alexander. After he arrives, he interrogates her on why she is still up, to which she replies that the horse disturbed her sleep. After the two are talking, Alexander notices something and becomes suspicious. However, Catherine persuades him by saying that she found her on the farm and uses it to check her weight. After this, Catherine makes Alexander some tea, and as they are having it, Alexander confronts her by saying that he knows everything about her affair with Sebastian. He orders her to leave the man immediately. However, Catherine brings Sebastian inside and starts making love with him in front of Alexander. Enraged, Alexander attacks Catherine and a fight breaks out which ends in Catherine killing Alexander. Later that night, Sebastian buries Alexander's corpse in the woods, while Catherine shoots at his horse to destroy evidence of his arrival. The next morning Sebastian dresses and behaves like he is lord of the house. As the couple is now free, they spend their days happy. One day a woman named Agnes comes to their residence along with a child named Teddy. She claims that Teddy was born to her daughter and Alexander. Catherine tries to refuse it, but the lady informs her that she has papers that attest to her words. Finally, after a long conversation, Catherine agrees to keep the lady and Teddy in the house. Sebastian is angry knowing that he has to leave the mansion and live in the outbuilding again, and suggests to Catherine that the woman may be lying. This is how the two groups start living together despite their differences. The following day, when Catherine wakes up, she feels uneasy and finds that she is pregnant with Sebastian's child. She is interrupted by Teddy, and they instead go to the open fields and discuss the names of birds and trees. Later, Catherine goes to meet Sebastian with a bottle of wine, but he is still angry about Agnes and Teddy taking the house from him. He then scolds Catherine to go back to the mansion. After a while, Catherine is watching Agnes and Teddy play in the courtyard. When she notices Sebastian following Anna, she scolds and pushes Teddy away while she shouts out Sebastian's name. But he seems to ignore her call and continues walking after Anna. At night, Catherine is informed that Teddy has gone missing, so everyone rushes into the woods to look for him. After looking for a while, Sebastian finally finds a little kid sitting alone by the river. He wants to kill the boy and throw him off the cliff, but his humanity prevents him from doing so. Back at the house, Catherine and Agnes are worried as Teddy is still missing. Just then Sebastian brings the boy in his arms. The boy is unconscious from the cold, and Sebastian orders them to get a blanket and wrap the boy with it. Despite being a good Samaritan and helping the kid, he gets chastised by bygones. As a result, he marches out in anger and goes to his place and packs his, by promising that she will do whatever it takes for them to be together. After coming inside the house, Catherine offers to look after the boy and suggests Agnes get some sleep. But the look on her face reveals that she has other intentions. While Agnes is sleeping, Catherine and Sebastian suffocate the boy with the pillow. After the boy is killed, Sebastian flees away to the woods. The next morning, while doing household work, he comes to find the boy lifeless. Catherine immediately goes to call Agnes, while Catherine shows no signs of regret for her actions. Sebastian is seen crying in the woods, expressing his guilt for taking the life of a child. After weeping and confessing his crimes to God, Sebastian starts running towards the house. We see devastated Agnes crying about her grandson's demise, while Catherine keeps lying that she simply woke to find the boy lifeless. However, the doctor is suspicious as there are bruises all over the boy's body as everyone is talking. Sebastian opens the door and confesses every crime he and Catherine have committed. He tells everyone Catherine poisoned her father-in-law, killed her husband, and even the little boy just so that they could be together. When asked, Catherine denies it and instead accuses Anna and Sebastian of the murders. She convinces the others by saying that her father-in-law was killed because he found out about the relationship between Anna and Sebastian and had threatened them with separation. As support for her words, she brings up Anna to refuse the theory, but Anna remains silent as she cannot speak. Thus Catherine's words are taken over Sebastian's, and Anna and Sebastian are accused of being guilty. They are then apprehended by the police and taken away inside a wagon. In the movie final scene, Catherine is alone in the house because the maids are also gone. Catherine wanders around the empty house, looks through the windows, walks down the stairs, and sits on the sofa feeling Sebastian's unborn child in her belly. Please like and subscribe our channel.